Who's ready to have a holly jolly Christmas? What is up, you guys? Welcome back to my channel. My name is Jessie, and today I'm here to talk about the books I plan to read for the month of December. I will say that December is when I really try to read a lot of Christmas romances, and I have quite a few, but I do have some thrillers, so I'm going to go through the Christmas romances first, and then we'll end with the thrillers. Okay, the first book is the only one that I don't physically own, and I'm waiting for it to come in from the library, and that is Grace and Henry's Holiday Movie Marathon. So I'm actually going to be doing a buddy read with my friend Gwen from Gwendolyn Kinzinger. We're going to be doing a buddy read every November. We always go holiday romance book shopping, and this year we were not able to do that, so we want to kind of keep up with the tradition, and we're going to be buddy reading this together. And this is by Matthew Norman. This says, a sentimental advertising creative and a blunt no-nonsense bar owner find a second chance at love while binge watching iconic holiday movies in this heartwarming romance from the author of Charm City Rocks and All Together Now. Their brand new year barely began when Grace White and Henry Adler both lost their spouses. Now, nearly a year later, the first holiday season since that great and terrible sadness approaches. Although their mothers scheme to matchmake the two surviving spouses, it's clear that neither is ready to date again. Yet no one understands what they're going through better than each other, and a delicate friendship is born. When Henry sees an ad for a Christmas movie marathon, once an annual tradition for him and his wife, Grace offers to watch some films with him, despite her aversion to a few of his picks. Her two young kids, Ian and Bella, also join in whenever possible, bedtime permitting. With each movie, Grace and Henry's shared grief eases as they start to see a life beyond the sadness. But as they draw closer together, other romantic possibilities leave them both uncertain about their future together. Is their bond merely the result of loneliness and shared circumstances, or have they found something that's worth taking a shot at? Okay, sorry, my battery died right after the end of the synopsis, but this book sounds super cute. I love a good hard-hitting contemporary romance, and I love that this has just deeper topics but also has that like holiday charm. So I'm very excited for our buddy read. Moving on to the 4 additional holiday romancy books. So I'm hoping to do a holiday reading vlog including that one. So here are the 4 that I have. The first one is probably going to be a big popular one. It is the new B.K. Borson. This is Good Spirits. I actually just picked this up yesterday at Target. So this one has a little bit more of a paranormal romance, and I really like Ashley Poston's paranormal type of, not paranormal, but like magical realism type of romance. He's the ghost of Christmas Past. She's not exactly Scrooge. Ghost of Christmas Past Nolan Callahan intends to spend this holiday haunting like every other. Get in, get out, return to his otherwise aimless existence as a ghost waiting for the afterlife. But when he's faced with Harriet York, the sweetest assignment he's ever had, he suddenly finds himself wishing for a future. Harriet York has no idea that she's being haunted. She's a good person, or at least she tries to be. A people pleaser to her core, she always does what's expected of her. But as she and Nolan begin to examine her past, they discover that the threads that bind them together, and realize that there might be more to move on than expected. With the deadline of Christmas Eve fast approaching, will they find the key to their futures in each other's past, or will they stay firmly in the present, indulging in their unexpected spirited connection? So I love that. Oh, and it looks so festive. Cannot wait. I will say the next 2 I was not really expecting to get, but Target had the buy 2 get 1 free, so naturally I was sucked. So, and I will be honest, I really did not do that much digging into Christmas romances, so these 2 were kind of unexpected. The first one I have is Date Night in December by Jacqueline Snow, and this one sounds so good, and I love that it's got a very interesting trope. I guess that's what you would call it. It says, he has 1 month to make a Christmas miracle happen. Lainey Reynolds knows there's only one place that can help her broken heart, Cherrywood. The small town where she grew up with its holiday festives and its snow-covered streets is exactly where she needs to be this December. It feels good to leave the bustling city where her husband was too busy climbing the corporate ladder to notice that the growing distance between them. But she has his attention now. Connor received his wake-up call loud and clear when Lainey left, and there's no way he's giving up on his marriage. If that means dropping everything and trading his high rises for gingerbread houses to sweep his wife off her feet in her hometown, then so be it. This time he's listening, but it'll take more than hot chocolate dates and even hotter nights to win Lainey back. Can he prove that being a CEO is nowhere near as important as being her husband? So I love that we're re-falling in love with like people who are already married. I feel like that's so sweet and not very common. So I'm very excited to read this one. Oh my gosh, I completely forgot. I do have another book that I am very much wanting to read. So as you know, probably for the past 3 years, I've always read a Cody Hall book. I read the Nick and Noelle's holiday playlist. I've read There's Something About Mary, and then I can't remember what the third book is. I have loved everything that she's written and given almost everything like 4 or 5 stars. So I definitely want to keep on that tradition. And I forgot that I have 10 Things I Hate About Mistletoe. This is book 1 in a new series, and I know Mistletoe is the city or town in the other series, so I'm really excited to hopefully revisit some, you know, some other characters. But I have this on Kindle Unlimited, so I definitely want to read this one. It says, a misunderstanding sparks enemies to lovers romance in an outdoorsman and an aspiring writer in this funny and festive Christmas themed novel. So far, no man in Mistletoe, Idaho has measured up to the literary heroes in Delilah Gill's favorite books. Anthony Russo is no exception. She's not sure why the steamy smooch they once shared suddenly turned frosty, and she's tired of keeping her distance ever since. But she's had enough of being serially single, and she decides it's the perfect time to put herself out there. Anthony isn't interested in playing games, and he doesn't like being used, especially not to make his own best friend jealous. Still, a bruised ego doesn't stop him from imagining kissing Delilah again when she shows up at the local watering hole looking like $1,000,000, and the other single men in the town are starting to notice her considerable charm. As December approaches and the Christmas festivities ramp up, both Delilah and Anthony find themselves roped into Mistletoe's seasonal happenings, excuse me. It won't be long now before proximity turns loathing into interest and ultimately a romance that could lead to a very happy ever after with a holiday twist. Ah! It sounds so good. I do occasionally like a good hate to love, so we'll see how this goes. I'll get this one later, but this one is yours for the season. This one sounds so interesting. I've read Emily Stone's books before and they've always been 3 stars, but this one out of all of them sounds very intriguing. A cozy cottage, a perfect holiday, a chance at payback, or a second chance at romance. Melanie hasn't had a good year. Her work isn't what she dreamed of. Her best friend has moved to the other side of the world, and Finn, the man she was sure was the love of her life, dumped her in front of everyone at her sister's engagement party. I was hooked by that. Okay. So when Finn shows up at Mel's doorstep 2 weeks before Christmas asking if she'll help him, her first instinct is to slam the door in his face or punch him. But he has a proposal for her. Spend the week of Christmas with him and his family in a vacation cottage in the Scottish Highlands. His mother is obsessed with the idea of a perfect Christmas and to make this dream come true. Finn has told his mother that he and Melanie are back dating. All Mel has to do is pretend that they're back together. Mel may hate Finn, but she loves his mom, so she agrees on one condition. At the end of the week, Finn will allow Mel to publicly dump him so that she can get her dignity back and he can experience the same humiliation she felt. It's only a week. Mel could pretend to be in love with Finn for 1 week, surely. Except for the festivities bringing her closer more than ever to Finn and his family, Melanie starts to lose track of which feelings are fake and which are real. So, fake dating, a little hate to love. Sounds so cute, and it's really short too, or it seems really short. So okay, and then the last like Christmas book that I have, this is The Christmas Express by Isla Gordon. I don't think this is like typically a romance, but it just sounds really good, and the publishers over at HarperCollins sent this over to me. So this says 6 estranged friends and lovers find themselves reunited on a 4-day train ride during the most magical time of the year. 6 passengers, when 6 ex-friends are invited to a winter wedding in Canada, the last thing they want to do is be reunited. But bridesmaid Bryn is desperate, so much that she's offering to pay for their travel. But there's a surprise in store. Bryn hasn't booked them flights. Instead, she's bought them non-refundable tickets for the cross Canada Christmas train. 4 days. 4 days trapped together in a cozy train cabin, traveling through snow-topped mountains, frozen lakes, and glistening Christmas trees over the most magical time of the year. It's a trip like no other, and Bryn hopes it will end their feud just in time for the wedding. One last chance at love. But tensions on board are fraught. Callie and Luke are each other's ones who got aways. Joss and Joe are the ultimate sibling rivals, and Sarah is stuck with the people who always left her out. Not to mention Ember, Bryn's ex, who wasn't even invited and is on her way to crash the wedding. Then a snowstorm hits and stops them, literally in their tracks. Will they make it to the wedding, and will it be together? Set across a breathtaking winter wonderland filled with cozy hot chocolates and a will they, won't they second chance romance. This perfect festive treat for fans of Sarah Morgan. So, it sounds magical. I'm so excited to read this one. It sounds so good. So thank you so much, HarperCollins, for sending me this copy. We're out of the Christmas spirit, at least for now. So I do have 4 more books, 3 thrillers, and then 1 that I'm reading for someone's book club. So let's jump into those. Okay, I want to start with the one that I'm reading for Gwen's Patreon book club, the Night Out book club. And I have been saving this since last November because I got it at the book exchange. And it is Frederick Bachman's Beartown. I've never read the series. I've never read anything by this author before, but this sounds interesting, and out of all of his books, this sounds like the one I would be the most interested in. So, and I am joining on camera for the book discussion, so I'm excited to see what I think. Now, moving on to some thrillers. I am determined to read this book. I've had it on my TBR for so many months, and this is one I keep passing off. And I was like, I do not want to enter 2026 without reading this book. And it is Mary Kubica's Don't You Cry. So I love Mary Kubica. I always pick up every book that she's written. I either love them or I'm like, they're just so okay. I don't know why, but my camera keeps cutting off. So I'm going to read the synopsis of this book one more time. But I definitely want to read this one before the end of 2025. This says, in downtown Chicago, a young woman named Esther Vaughn disappears from her apartment without a trace. A haunting letter addressed to "My Dearest" is found amongst her possessions, leaving her friend and roommate Quinn Collins to wonder where Esther is and whether or not she's the person Quinn thought she knew. Meanwhile, in a small Michigan harbor town an hour outside of Chicago, a mysterious woman appears in a quiet coffee shop where 18-year-old Alex Gallo works as a dishwasher. He is immediately drawn to her charm and beauty, but what starts as an innocent crush quickly spirals into something far more dark and sinister than he ever expected. As Quinn searches for answers about Esther and Alex is drawn further underneath the stranger's spell, master of suspense, Mary Kubica takes readers on a taut and twisted thrill ride that builds to a stunning conclusion and shows us that no matter how far or how fast we run, the past always catches up to us. So, sounds really good. I'm very excited to read another backlist by Mary Kubica. And then the last 2 books I have, I wanted to pick up some popcorn thrillers that I've been putting off for a little bit. So one I have is The Coworker by Freida McFadden. Everyone that has read Freida McFadden has told me that this one is not good, but I'm always so intrigued. But again, I'm a big Freida fan. I'm trying to tackle her backlist before she puts out more books out there. So this says, 2 women, an office filled with secrets, one terrible crime that can't be taken back. Dawn is strange, at least everyone thinks so, at Vicks, the nutritional supplement company where Dawn works as an accountant. She never says the right thing, she has no friends, and she's always at her desk precisely at 8:45 a.m. So when Dawn doesn't show up to her office one morning, her co-worker Natalie, beautiful, popular, top sales rep 5 years running, is surprised. Then she receives an unsettling, anonymous phone call that changes everything. Turns out Dawn wasn't just an awkward outsider. She is being targeted by someone close. Now, Natalie is irrevocably tied to Dawn as she finds herself caught in a twisted game of cat and mouse that leaves her wondering, who is the real victim? But one thing is incredibly clear. Somebody hated Dawn enough to kill. So, it sounds so good. So, I'm very excited to read it. And then the last book I have is another popcorn thriller. I have not read from this author in so long. I used to be obsessed with her books, and yeah, I need to read another one by her because it's been quite a while. Also, thank you, Lena, for my birthday book. But this is You'll Never Know I'm Here by Kirsten Modglin. And I completely forgot what this book was about. And then when I picked it up and read like the first like few sentences, I was like, oh yeah, this is why I like it. So It says, they'll tell the world what mysteries to read. Soon they'll be caught up in one of their own. When 6 book influencers take a weekend getaway to connect with their fellow creators, it's meant to be a chance to relax, collaborate, and discuss all the books that they love. But from the start, something clearly is amiss. From the hostess' mysterious abstinence and an unexpected guest to an odd occurrence in town and the strange and worrisome behavior of the neighbors. What starts off as an innocent and lively vacation quickly becomes a weekend filled with terror. And when one of the group members believes they're seeing something horrifying at the house next door, their carefully laid plans begin to unravel. Drawn into a mystery that runs far deeper and is more sinister than they could have imagined, and surrounded by those who refute their stories, the group struggles to unearth the truth about the house and the couple next door before it's too late. As new questions and shocking revelations surface, the group must decide if they can trust each other, not only with their safety in the house, but with their lives entirely. So, as someone who's went on like reading retreats or met up with other YouTubers, this sounds great and terrifying at the same time, and I'm so excited to read it. All right, guys, that is the last TBR video for 2025. I can't believe I just said that sentence. It's crazy that 2026 is right around the corner. I have so many things planned and I'm so excited for. And you're probably wondering, Jessie, you didn't say anything about Sleep When I'm Dead for December. Yes, I am taking a break from Sleep When I'm Dead just for the month of December. January, we will be back, and I have the announcement video that's going to be the very next one that you see. I will be announcing the next 3 months, co-hosts, books, and dates, and I hope you guys will all join us. But if you liked this video and want to see more, or if you want to tag along on the other adventures that I have coming up, please make sure that you subscribe and hit that notification bell. And if you liked this specific video, give this video a thumbs up. It really does help support me and this channel. And I will see you guys all in the next one.